we've grown our, yeah, I want my shoulders shown because I've been working really hard on getting them to look beautiful. Okay, so I'm being snarky to my enemies because I know what the hint drops are, what they put in our feeds and everything like that. I'm just giving it right back to them. And we're documenting everything, so thank you for making a pattern. So we grew bigger without any money. Didn't think we could do it, but we did. That's what ingenuity is and creativity, right? And my husband posted my thoughts on this recently on my Facebook personal timeline, so go check it out. You know, because look at who's going to watch everything. You know, they say drain the swamp, right? Isn't that what our president says? Well, guys, why does everyone think it's just in the government? Here, look here. These people put their people in the government. We know that, special interest. You've heard these terms before. It didn't just come from me. Okay, so I gotten way off the track here, but it's important to know this background information so you can see, oh my gosh, this is what's being done. So let's just say we have, I'm going to flip the page here. Let's just say, oh, it bleeds through. We have a, is this, I think this is right. Is that the right spelling? Let's just say we have a corporate reign right now. Do you see what I'm going through? They're trying to make me something I don't want to be. And yet the things that I do want to be, they see, let's just use the number 10. I have 10 different excellent talents that are pretty well developed. They're taking from here, this is me, they're taking from here and they're putting it on 10 different people. So say I have my skill of dance, and then I do choreography, and then I'm also a writer, you know that. So we got this. Do you see where I'm getting at? Do you see what I'm talking about? Now let's look in your history books. The Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, is that the USSR, right? Double check me on this. I'm not totally up on this. My mother was. She grew up during the 50s when a lot of this Russian stuff was coming. I have nothing against Russian. I have Russian family members and it's in my blood, and you know, it's pretty interesting. So don't get smart and cute. I wasn't kidding when I said I'm pretty much a culmination of most races. Pretty cool, I think. My people got around, I guess. I don't know. So let's just say, you know what happened? Or, you know, don't even use them. I think there are kind of allies, right? Let's just give them a break here. Let's just figure it out for yourselves. Think of any communistic or communism-like ploy or country that exists. Isn't this what they do? Whether you like it or not. They decide, whoops, you're going to be the writer. You're going to be the ice skater. You're going to be whatever we decide you're going to be. Some might actually be matched well and they're like, hey, this is what I want to do. Some might not want to do any of this. Some might really want to do it, but they don't get to. Say if there was a source like me that I have more than just 10. These corporations I know are very impressed with me. I have more than 10. Much more. I do not know why God gave me these gifts and raw talents, but I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not going to divvy it out to people. They're mine, okay? And it's my prerogative if I want to teach people. But let's just say, you know, maybe this is all hypothetical, maybe not. Let's just talk about it though. What is the difference between this and this? Is it name only? Is it the same thing? I'm telling you, I'm not giving up any of these things on my own. But yet I've seen people try to mimic and imitate me. Now let's just say within each of these things, let's just, I'm speaker. I'm an author, screenwriter. So all of these categories for me have a subset. So what kind of speaking do I do? Well, I speak on a lot of topics. Watch my videos. I'm very bold and I've got a big mouth. I don't care. I am glad. I am Italian. I'm French. I'm very European. I speak what I think. And of course, this is all my opinion. But, wait, you will see the facts. And I'm not afraid. So, let's just say speaker. Now, remember when I was sick, and as many of you know, I've had to deal with illness of all kinds my whole life. I had that, it's now called, mast cell division something, I forget, right? But what it is basically the liver and your other organs just not detoxing properly. So I spoke on that. And while I was going to school, I was a little sick. So I was wearing my pink PJs with little reindeers on it. They were my jammies. I was really sick. So that was like, how can I say it? Like a persona. Okay? And then I do the Dance Warrior persona too. And it's not like I have split personality or anything. As you can tell when I'm talking, this is all a part of me. I just read a lot. I'm very well read and I have a lot of opinions. So, we have the Dance Warrior, by the way, registered copyright, trademark, all of that. So then I'm starting to see other people, or not now because we pretty much put an end to it because we were threatening pretty serious lawsuits. These put on other people. But it was mine. My trademark, my whole thing. My shtick, how I do this, and I started seeing other people. And I'm not saying that nobody else did it beforehand. It's just very strange that I was doing it, and then my videos would be taken down or moved. Or it was very strange what was happening. And then the elements of that persona or that personality trait within me was being propped up as another person. There's a lot to choose from. Look at this video. I can think of so many different things to come from it. And I'm like, but you can't really do that because these people were taking everything I was saying verbatim. So that's under what you call copyright. If you start using my image, that's not only copyright, but in our case too, we have trademark. And a lot of it is not only registered, but I've been using it for a very long time. See, a lot of people thought that I was younger, and therein lies a problem. Because I've been doing this, I'm trying not to swear, but I've been doing this stuff for a very long time. Just because you don't know about it, or because it happened before Google came around, or any of these companies, does not mean it did not exist prior. We have the evidence, and yeah. I don't want to get too far off the track here, but do you see all of this? So let's go back to what I was saying. There is a method here to my logic. Do you see why these corporations or anybody would want me to do this? Because it turns into this for them if they can get me to teach or do another discipline, even acting, because then there's, documents signed, and then all of a sudden you've signed all your rights away. Really, you can't, but you see what they try to do is they try to get some dirt on you to use it as leverage. So it's like, you can't say anything, or you'll never act again, or you'll never sing again, you'll never do this again, and plus we have this on you. Aaron Spelling was my boss. I know what goes on. People didn't understand. Okay. I'll be proud to testify too. Everything I know. Like I said, I'm not afraid of anybody. Okay, I'm just looking at my notes down here, guys. Okay, so what makes this, if this indeed is what's happening, and if this indeed is unofficially something like this, or on the cusp of an actual, skirmish, is, a physical engagement, just some kind of physical engagement to actually make this official. See, right now, I think, isn't this interesting? And again, please, there are some amazing corporations out there who know nothing about this, and this is hypothetical, maybe not. I'm just saying as a hypothetical, in my opinion, what if this is so? What if this has been going on for decades and decades and decades? Okay, let's also look at something else too. I think isn't that interesting? So yeah, I do think about this stuff while I'm choreographing, while I'm thinking about other dances, while I'm working on my alignment. I have a very busy mind, and how am I able to figure this out? Not only did I have good people around me who warned me of certain things, do you see how analytical I am? I know people have seen me cry and stuff like that, but that is a very small percentage of me. What you're seeing now is the bigger percentage, okay? You just didn't pay attention enough, and you just didn't want to be my friend in the right way to know this, because my true friends know this about me. That's why they get so angry when they see all these other people doing what they're doing to me. Let's go here. Hold on, guys. I want to make sure I don't lose you. So you understand so far, yes? Yes. So, look, I have Jewish heritage in my family. I'm not ashamed of it. And people who have any problems with any race, you have a problem. Okay? Look, I understand that there are cliches and people try to say, oh, well, these types of people are like that. And I understand that stereotypes come from someplace. But I have to say something, too, about that. I just don't, because, they come from somewhere. But I want to say this, the whole blonde thing. Let's just look at that. Well, there are a lot of people who are not natural blondes and they dye their hair. It doesn't make them the sexy dumb bimbo. You see what I mean? It has nothing to do with anything. Some are, some aren't. I mean, gee, I can be sexy and dumb sometimes too. And I like my little boobs personally. Less you have it, less you sag, right? I love that. My grandmother used to say that to me. So I fine. Or if you have big one, whatever, who cares, right? But the point is, I'm just saying that being dumb can be on anybody with any color hair or any set or size boobs. And I really don't care. I have some blonde in my hair. I showed you, remember? I didn't cover it for a while because someone's like, oh, you know what, let's do it for documentation legally, and just let it come through naturally. And it's like, I don't like this, because some of it turned gray prematurely from when I was a cancer patient. It's from treatment, guys. It just happens, to some people. But it's gone. I don't want it anymore. But maybe I will. I don't know. It's up to me. But so what difference does it make? Yeah, I have the blonde streak in my hair, and my father is a blonde. It's just people, who care? But my point is that these stereotypes come from somewhere. So I was like, is this the truth, or is somebody just trying to market that and fashion some kind of propaganda? So I was looking in the history of the Jewish nation, not only scripturally, but from what I know, what I was raised with. And I'll say it again, I had a Catholic, Protestant, Jewish faith upbringing. Talk about confusion, but somehow it makes sense. I mean, Jesus was Jewish, so I mean, give it a rest with that. Now let's look at what has been done to them? Well, go open your Bible. If you're not a Christian, you should still have a Bible. I mean, it's good for reference. So when people are trying to debate you and you think you're right, you can actually work with knowledge. And it's just really good to have. I mean, if you're really stuck with making a decision, look at the 10 Commandments, get a clue. But look, and I don't mean to be so snarky, I'm just getting very, very disgusted at some people, their attitude lately. And you know, God bless the people who have just been attacked recently. I know what it's like. Maybe not to that extent, or, you know, no, actually, I do know what it's like to be attacked very seriously, physically too. You know, this just gotta stop. So for my brothers and sisters, just hang in there, and I'm so sorry what happened. But I was looking at everything that they'd gone through. Okay, we do know what happened with the Third Reich, right? The German language, you always pronounce the second vowel. I think I'm spelling this right. Just for, you know, people say, is it Rubenstein or Rubenstein? Frankenstein, Frankenstein. You want to go with the second vowel. And my father is German and Swiss and Austrian, biological father. Very interesting. I've got an amazing family. Okay, so I had to put the little tail there. You know what happened to them, right? Very similar to what's happening to me. On a different level, of course. I am not in a concentration camp, but I am being isolated. And I am being followed. And I've had my stuff stolen from me. But look at what happened. They were put in the ghettos, right? Rounded up. Their identity was stolen. And they were given numbers. There's a lot of clues in this. And you know what their leader looked like. You know, I with a little mustachy thing, right? Underneath his lips. That's very terrible, but you know, you get the idea. Just keep this in mind. What else? The horrors, you know, physical, mental, psychological, and this is abuse. Their property redistributed. Right? That's a problem. All of this. And then, you know, they were put to death, a lot of them. Or they were enslaved, etc., etc., etc. I mean, and I'm not looking at this lightly. So, now, from what I was told, my family, and what went down and everything like that, it's bad. It didn't go well. It's horrible. And we have a lot of these people themselves disowning their own kind. And then, you know, you have the Orthodox. And you have just, you know, we're not Orthodox by any means, obviously. You know, I would call, like I said, we're Messianic Christian, Messianic Jewish. I don't know, whichever you want. It works. So, and that's because we believe Christ is Savior. And, you know, that's just the way it goes. Hold on, guys. My hair is driving me nuts now. So you look at all these things, and I'm like, we don't quite live in a ghetto. But there's this isolation that happens, that they could not get word, you know, communication in or anything out. Anybody has more information than I do, please tell me, because I don't want to be wrong, and I'll stand corrected, and I'll come back, and since this is in my notebook, I can come back and rework this and say, oh, you know what, somebody corrected me. But this is what I understand. I was not alive, and I did not experience this, so I don't know. And then, you know, I have some family account records and things like that. But anyway, so what's going on here? You know, why do this in the first place, right? And you know, they used cartoons to create propaganda. Okay. This is bad penmanship. Okay. And usually when I can see very well and I take my time, I've got beautiful penmanship. But oh well. They used all these things, right? This is an important thing. Think about it. So, what the heck's going on here? Why do this? This isn't the only time something like this was done. This dude wasn't the only guy who was doing stuff like this. This was a pretty big one, though. Millions of people gone, destroyed, dehumanizing. This is the dehumanizing process here. All of this. Whoops. All of this. You're dehumanizing a human being. And many in this case. So I was looking at this whole thing with me. This is extreme. What I'm going through is extreme. On that same level, there's similarities here. Okay, so what if we are in World War III? What if some corporations and some people within them are trying to do this and this, which is resulting in something similar to this? Maybe. Let's theorize with this. It's not a conspiracy theory. Well, all theories are conspiracy theories. Here's why. Because it's usually a group of people conspiring to do something harmful to one or more people. Many people thought that this was a conspiracy theory. Wrong. Well, actually, what's the difference? What is the connotative difference, people? Conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy fact. So let's talk more about this. I'm being isolated. You know, I can't talk to certain people. I mean, I can. It's a free country, you would think. Can't get communication to them, and they can't get it to me. And when they do, all of a sudden it's cut off. We have evidence of it. We're texting things. SOS. It's pretty bad. Identity stolen and then given numbers. Well, you know, get a clue, people. We do have something called Social Security, and we have numbers. Social. Is it secure? Is our security? Probably not. I'm not the first to comment on this. Anyway. But beyond and besides that. Right? But when did this happen? Late 30s? Early 40s? Something like that. Right? Pretty interesting, isn't it? Okay, so this is going on. You know, it comes in different forms for me. Some of it's my trademark. Some of it's the actual information to try to, you know, get my identity. Oh, wait, here's another one I gotta add. I just added the word deletion. Not only are deletion from existence, but documentation that they existed. We'll get to this one. We're going to go down the list. Okay, I've had people try to emulate me. And I'm not talking about that really sweet type of thing where you're a mentor and you're mentee and, you know, it just happens. Their work emulates yours. It doesn't copy it, but it emulates it because they're trying to find themselves. But there's an understanding there with that. I never like to emulate my teacher's work. you know, maybe be inspired. And I always gave them credit and I thanked them for it. But I don't want to be somebody else, really. I've got enough going on for myself, and so I'm not talking about that. I'm talking people actually like want me gone and step in and take my place. Seriously. Not an exaggeration. I'm having a hard time holding this up. Okay, so, right, and then information also stolen. So this is also your data and info. And we have documentation of all this being done to me, by the way. And this also can be part of the deletion and what gets deleted. Okay, so now let's go to the abuse thing. Yeah, I've suffered all of this from all of it. Why? Why? Because this is a war tactic, you know, obviously. And it can work. I've got a very strong resolve. And these people who are doing this stuff to me have found that out. And they're like, Jesus, what can we do? Sorry, I didn't mean to use that like that. But I did. Sorry. Jeez. But I do know that they said that because we have... never mind. You'll see how we know. So we have... This is what I've suffered, obviously. And we've got a lot of this. We got a lot of this. You know, and there are different varying degrees from hint drops to people setting me up in certain circumstances and situations to destroy my, what I think about myself and all of this. You know, you got the bullying things, you got bullied, all this. Property redistribution or redistributed. Okay, well, I've had all of my property redistributed. I showed you here what was going on. Right? All these little elements are like, you have too much for yourself and we know better what to use it for. Isn't that the socialistic or communistic mentality? You know, steal it from the wealth and give it to the poor. Guys, I don't have anything, and everything that I have that is not money is being redistributed. You know, so we got that. Ooh, I need to figure out something. This hurts my wrist. Okay, yeah, so this could be my copyright, my trademark, my image, etc., etc. Also my signature, my husband's signature, my sons, our sons, you get the idea. That's our property as well. How we run our business, trade secrets, intellectual property, all of it. There's just a lot under here. Okay, so see, I'm going down the list. This is an interesting one, and I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it. But, you know, we find it interesting that since after our accident, there have been 4 in my family. And that's all I'm going to say right now, because we have other people that are looking into stuff. And this was only like... What? It was, yeah, 10 months. That's ridiculous. Okay. Enslaved. Well, this is interesting. We got a phone call, and, well, let me preface this. Gee, that'd be interesting, because I always thought that, you know, being a ghostwriter is really interesting. You don't have to worry about the crazies stalking you, when I thought it was just fans. And you get to make all the money, and you don't have to worry about your looks, and you just, you know, you write, and you get all this money. Well, you know, just because I'm talking about it and I fantasize about doing it, I don't like that, and I don't want to do it. Here's why. Because it's led to a lot of problems, and I'm not saying I ever agreed to it. I never did. Credit, money, something. You have to have something, or a nice even exchange. I wrote an article for somebody, they wrote an article for me.